Chapter 4. The Algorithm Breakdown. You just learned a lot about the history of the systems that have run YouTube since its inception, and you know that those systems have become quite good at what they do. But what does that mean literally? When you go to the website, what do the systems look like as you navigate? To really grasp these foundational concepts, let's clarify what is actually happening when a site visitor shows up. As soon as visitors arrive at YouTube.com, they are being followed. It's like when you were a kid and went to your friend's house to play, and their pesky kid brother just wouldn't leave you alone. But think of it this way. Instead of being pesky, the brother quietly observes your behavior and accommodates your every whim. You want a snack, so he runs to the kitchen and returns with an apple. You say, "No thanks," so he takes the apple back and returns with a bag of Cheetos. You eat the Cheetos. Then you have a conversation about Han Solo, so he runs to the living room and plays The Empire Strikes Back for you. The next time you go to their house, as soon as you walk through the door, he hands you a cookie and turns on Return of the Jedi. His prediction about what you might want to eat or watch is based on the last time you came over, and it's probably spot on. Oh, and also, you're probably going to want to go to their house more often with this kind of treatment. They know what you like, unless he recommends The Last Jedi or Solo, in which case you'll just go to the Zuckerbergs next time because those movies stink. Let's say that in place of Cheetos you wanted carrot sticks, and in place of Star Wars you watched The Office reruns. The next time you showed up, Lil Bro would offer broccoli and Parks and Recreation. The concept works no matter your preference. These examples help explain YouTube's goals. Predict what the viewer will watch, maximize the viewer's long-term engagement and satisfaction. How they do it is broken into two parts: gathering and using data, and algorithms with an S. Part 1. Gathering and using data. YouTube collects 80 billion data points from user behavior every single day. They gather data in two key areas in order to achieve the goals of the AI. The first area it observes is user behavior via metadata. It determines things about a video based on the behavior of the person whose eyes are on the screen and whose fingers are doing the clicking. Satisfaction signals train the AI what to suggest or not. There is a very specific list of these signals: which videos a user watches, which videos they skip, time they spend watching, likes and dislikes, not interested feedback, surveys after watching a video, whether they come back to rewatch or finish something unwatched, if they save and come back to watch later. All of these signals feed the satisfaction feedback loop. This loop is created based on the feedback the algorithm is getting from your specific behavior. It loops the type of videos you like through its suggestions. This is how it personalizes each user's experience. Gathering metadata. To really get down to the details, here's an explanation for exactly how the AI gathers data. Observing metadata starts with the thumbnail. The YouTube AI uses the advanced technology of Google's suite of AI products. It operates a program called Cloud Vision, CV. CV uses optical character recognition, OCR, and image recognition to determine lots of things about a video based on what it finds in the thumbnail. It takes points from each image in the thumbnail and, using billions of data points already in the system, recognizes those images and feeds that information back into the algorithm. For example, a thumbnail including a close-up of world-renowned physicist Stephen Hawking's face is recognized as such in CV, so that video can be grouped in the suggested feed along with every other video on YouTube that has been tagged under the Stephen Hawking topic. This is how your videos get discovered and watched. In addition, CV utilizes a safety tool that determines, based on the data it has gathered from the images in your thumbnail, if your video is safe for all audiences to watch, or if it has adult themes, violence, or other questionable content, and it gives a confidence score of that determination. The score also reflects how accurately the content matches what the thumbnail shows. This means that you can create a thumbnail, plug it into CloudVision, and know before you finalize your video upload how the thumbnail will likely be rated in the system. Using CloudVision can help catch something that might, for whatever reason, be flagged as inappropriate on any data point, and therefore can give creators the opportunity to fix it even before it is live. This has cut down on demonetization and other issues creators have had in the past. It can be a very valuable tool to help you stay one step ahead of the problems. CV is not an exact replica of YouTube's safety measures, but it is close enough that creators can get a good idea of how the content will be determined by YouTube. CV might tolerate something YouTube will not, but it is still a sufficient pre-launch tool to utilize. Video intelligence. Once the thumbnail has been checked, the AI goes through every single frame of the video and creates shot lists and labels based on what it sees in the content of the video itself. For example, if you do a video in a parking lot, the AI detects the storefront, people, flowers, brands, and more, so it can log that info for recommendations and run it through the same safety routine that it uses to check thumbnail images. Be aware of what is in the frame in every scene of every video you create. It will be detected by the AI and sorted accordingly, because the AI is validating the thumbnail. The AI cuts through the noise of every single thing in every frame and determines what is most important according to that video and its metadata. Closed captioning. The AI does the same thing with the language of the video. YouTube has an auto caption feature now, and the AI reads through the words of the caption to gather data as well. So basically, going through the video frames using shot lists is like looking at what is visually being said, while listening to the audio provides even more feedback via what is actually being verbalized. Everything goes into the system. Natural language. The AI is also listening for actual sentence structure and breaking it down into a sentence diagram. This extracts the meaning of what is being said. It can differentiate language so it can group it categorically, but not just on the surface. For example, two different creators might both talk about Stephen Hawking in their videos, but one video might be biographical or scientific, while the other might be humorous or entertaining. Even though both videos are talking about the same person, they are categorically different enough that the AI would categorize them differently and group them with different recommended content because of the language being used. Video title and description. As you should expect, the algorithm also looks at the video's title and description to supplement what it has already learned from the thumbnail, frame by frame, and the language. But it only tracks this as long as it needs to before it will use viewer data that comes in. The AI knows that people can be deceptive with metadata, but they can't lie about what's actually in the content. Don't slap a title and description on your video haphazardly just to get it finished and uploaded. The verbiage matters, so choose your words wisely. Most creators don't leverage the video description to its fullest potential. It's another data point the AI looks at to help with search ranking and discovery. Part 2. Algorithms with an S. Did you know that YouTube has more than one algorithm? The AI uses multiple systems, and each has its own objective and goal. The surface features viewers see are browse features, homepage and subscription, suggested, trending, notification, search. Each of these features runs separate algorithms trying to be optimized for a higher hit rate, and they all feed into the YouTube AI. They have separate hit rates to determine what actually works for users in each particular system. Hit rate means how often viewers are able to find what they actually want to watch. Have you ever heard of a fisherman getting a hit? It's when a fish takes the bait. Imagine that you are the fisherman who has tossed his video into the water. Potential viewers are the fish swimming by your bait. Maybe 10 fish take a look at the bait and swim on by because it's not the brand of bait that they like. But along comes a fish who says, "That looks good," and he bites. Say you toss this line 10 times, and while 100 fish swam past, 10 took the bait. That's your hit rate. This hit rate is so important to each system in the AI. The algorithms are very sensitive to user behavior and the metadata on each traffic source so that they know how to change to increase the hit rate. Additionally, YouTube is constantly running experiments, several thousand a year, and they implement about 1 in 10 changes as they go. So this translates to hundreds of changes being implemented annually. These changes help the system get smarter, and smarter means better at feeding viewers what they will watch. Browse Homepage. YouTube's homepage has changed over time. Users no longer have to type a query in search or to put in the work to navigate. The homepage used to be where users saw only video recommendations of channels they had subscribed to. Now, the homepage has a personalized recommendation feed based on that user's history over time. As long as a user is logged in when using YouTube, the algorithms can keep track of what videos that particular user has watched in the past, so it can make better suggestions for videos that user is likely to watch, even if they haven't watched those videos in the past. This seems counterintuitive. It seems like the algorithm could be more successful suggesting videos it knows a user has already watched and liked, but actually the opposite is true. Keeping suggestions fresh actually gets users to stick around on the platform longer because they aren't getting bored with the same old stuff. How YouTube does this is by breaking down the homepage into 2 categories, familiar and discovered. It shows users familiar content from places the viewer has gone to before. These suggestions could include trending or recent videos from a channel a viewer has already watched. The discovery side includes videos or channels that users with similar viewing patterns have watched and liked. YouTube has found that these combined strategies are keeping viewers better engaged. If you want to get on the homepage, and this definitely should be your goal, learn the triggers that get videos there. Try to improve your click-through rate and audience retention, because these will help you get pushed out to a more general audience. Browse Subscription. This one doesn't need a lot of explanation. The subscription section pulls content from channels you've already subscribed to. It will suggest new videos from your subscribed channels, especially new videos with similar content to what you've consumed before. For example, you watched a prank video or 2 from a channel you have subscribed to, so the AI pulls that channel's newest prank into your subscription feed. Suggested. Another place besides the homepage creators should be focusing on is Suggested feed, including the Up Next video. These are the suggestions below on mobile or to the right on desktop of the video that is being watched. This is a powerful place to be. Viewers stick around when this feature is working really well, and sticky viewers are YouTube's goal. So if you can use the triggers to get your video in the suggested feed, you're exactly where you need to be. What are the triggers? First, make sure you have created a strong relationship among the data in your own content. This means that if the metadata connects among your videos, the algorithm plugs your videos into the Up Next feed, and your video's likelihood of being watched skyrockets. Metadata includes title, keywords, description, and the content itself. We talk in depth about metadata in Part 3 of the book. The viewer's behaviors trigger which videos get put in the suggested feed as well. So when your content keeps viewers watching instead of bouncing, your content is more likely to be recommended here. Other things the AI looks for in this feature include the rabbit hole type and the watch something else type. Rabbit hole explains itself pretty well. It's the type of videos that are similar in one way or another that keeps the viewer following a specific path. These include videos from the same channel, videos and channels that are similar to the one playing, videos that other people watched after watching the current video. The watch something else type, also self-explanatory, exists because viewers eventually tire of watching videos with similarities, and they need something entirely different if they are going to stick around. This isn't a random selection. It's still a personalized recommendation based on their past behavior. This recommendation comes when the AI has a stored history of what that viewer has watched over time. Trending. I like to call this the geo-specific water cooler. A common misconception is that trending is synonymous with popular, but it's not. Trending topics are broad topics that people are talking about right now all across the Internet. It is what's currently happening in the news, on social media, websites, blogs, and elsewhere. By geospecific, I mean that even the Internet has geographical regions, both in location and in authority. Websites with more authority than others will have topics that trend better because YouTube knows more eyes will be on them. So it pulls those topics into their own trending section. They realize it's what people are seeing elsewhere, so they're more likely to click on that topic when they are on YouTube as well. By location, groups that live in the same area often are interested in the same things. For example, something that would trend well in LA likely would fall flat in the Midwest. Notification. When someone subscribes to your channel, they can be notified by YouTube when you upload a new video, but only if that subscriber has also clicked on the bell button. The notification comes through on the subscriber's YouTube app or via email. Search. Another straightforward feature is the search. Users type in a keyword or phrase as a query to find what they want to watch. The search feature displays videos related to that query. The algorithm narrows down the results based on the metadata and the video generated by the creator, and it also looks closely at past data from people searching similar queries and how they responded to those videos. A lot of people think they just need to do SEO to make their video go to the top, but there is a freshness feature that will pull new videos into these results. Take a look at what's trending and create content with the right connecting metadata. Know especially what's trending in your niche. If your video performs well, the algorithm keeps it in the search results, but if it doesn't, it drops it. It's not YouTube's fault. You have just learned a lot about YouTube's history and its inner workings. Congratulations! You've done some good digging. But do you find yourself musing, okay, great, but what does all of this mean for my content? I often come across creators with good intentions and lofty goals, but they aren't seeing the results they want to see, and they blame YouTube for it. If I can get anything from these first chapters to stick in your head, it is this: don't blame YouTube, blame your content. I know this sounds harsh, like I just called your baby ugly, but try to take a step back and look at it objectively. Maybe your baby really is ugly. If you can swallow the hard pill that maybe your content is to blame instead of the big bad algorithm, you'll be ready to learn the YouTube formula. If you won't consider that you might be doing something wrong, then nothing I say will help you, and you might as well stop listening to the book. Now that you understand the inner workings of the algorithm a little better, you can move through the rest of this book ready to implement systems and strategies that work with the algorithm instead of being subject to intimidation or ignorance of it. YouTube's objective is simple: engagement and satisfaction with viewers. At the end of the day, it's all about creating good content. The purpose of this book is to teach you the formula to align yourself with YouTube's goals, and to be able to analyze how your content performs so you can adjust to achieve viewer satisfaction. You'll be ready to arm yourself with the tools you need to dig in and plant the right seeds in your content garden.